incredible morning of hockey for those out there swelling with the American pride this morning as they knock off the Russians.
Fantastic game. The Americans showed a ton of heart. TJ Oshie, what he did in the shootout time after time after time, going against Kovalchuk, going against Datsyuk, some of the best offensive players in the world. Jonathan Quick having to take all those shootouts. What a morning for hockey.
This is a big moment for them. If they are to win, the Americans, the game tomorrow, they will get a bye and the Russians will not. How important is that moving forward in this tournament?
Well, they play Slovenia, so they should beat Slovenia, but you don't take it for granted after coming off an emotional win like this against the Russians. So that's one thing the coaches have to make sure they have the Americans ready to play Slovenia. It doesn't make sense to play like this against Russia and throw an egg against Slovenia. So that's the most important thing. But they'll be ready for that. The top three teams get by. So you got three brackets. The top team in each bracket gets a bye. And then the top second team in one of the brackets gets a bye. So 4 teams get a bye.
Let's talk about them defensively momentarily here. I think that first game was a surprise, the 7-1 with the amount of goals that were put up there in Jonathan Quick in net. This is a very skilled Russian team. They gave up 2 goals in this game. They had 5 power play kills that they had to deal with. What did you make of defensively what the United States was able to do?
First off, Jonathan Quick was great. If there's any doubt who's the #1 goaltender for the Americans, that's over now. Jonathan Quick is the goaltender for the Americans. Defensively, the young defenseman we've been talking about, the Americans, might be a liability, proved to be a strength. Cam Fowler was fantastic today. Ryan McDonough blocked 2 or 3 point-blank slappers by Ovechkin. Gave up his body. Didn't matter what happened. Kessler blocked a ton of shots. So defensively, and especially on the penalty kill, the Americans were fantastic. On the power play, the Americans scored 2 goals in their power play. That won the game, basically, for the Americans. But overall, defensively, the Americans played with grit. They played with heart. They played with character. They gave up their bodies. They blocked shots. They got the puck out around the wall. They held Ovechkin in check. They held Malkin in check. They held Kovalchuk in check. Obviously, Datsyuk got 2 goals. He's not even 100%. Shows how good Datsyuk is. But overall, the Americans played so hard against this Russian team. Just a fantastic, fantastic win in a building that was obviously dominated by Russian fans.
You know these players. Maybe we've been underestimating them. 4 years ago, they got to the gold medal game and lost in overtime to a superior team. And I think everyone came into this Olympic Games, again, and looked at them clearly as an underdog to the Russian team, to the Canadian team. How do you view the makeup of this team as they move forward?
I love this team. I love the youth they brought into this team. A lot of new players playing in the Olympics for the first time. They're a big physical team. They're great skaters. The Americans have always been great skaters, and this team is no different. And don't forget, the Americans have probably 5 or 6 of the top scorers in the NHL. Joe Pavelski. Joe Pavelski is one of the great goal scorers in the NHL. He got a goal today. Kane had a breakaway late in the 3rd period. That could have been over right there. He made a beautiful pass to Pavelski in one of the goals. This team can score. This team is physical. It's big. This team has all the ingredients it takes to win. But coming in, they're under Russia, they're under they're under Canada. Yeah. They're probably rated 3rd or 4th in the Olympics. But they don't know about ratings. They just know that if they play hard and Jonathan Quick plays good net, they can beat anybody, which they did today.
I just want a quick thought on Russia here. There's a tremendous amount of pressure on them by the government.
Well, Putin was at the game.
They want them to win this medal, and they wanted to beat the United States. How do they move forward from here? They are an array of stars that are out on the ice.
Well, first off, this was a big win for the United States, but it means nothing, okay, because they still got to win 2 more games to get to the Olympic gold medal. Canada lost out and had to go through the medal round in Vancouver, so they did exactly what Russia has to do. We'll have to probably play the next round. So it's just a case you'll have to play an extra game to win. Russia's certainly capable of winning that game, but there is, if this Olympics and the hockey team in Russia does not win the gold medal, the Olympics is brutal. Nothing else matters. Not how many luges win or how many skaters win or how many biathlons win. If the hockey team loses, this has been a total disappointment, a total terrible, terrible Olympics for the Russians. So the hockey team has their Russian pride in their back. Putin's at every game. He's cheering. He's high-fiving the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Defense. They don't care. This is huge for the Russians, and this was a little chink in the armor today. So we'll see how the Russians respond.
See if they have the opportunity to face the United States again, see how far they get. We learned something new this morning. In shootouts in Olympic hockey, you can use one skater over and over and over after the first 3.
After the first 3, and it looked like Oshie, if we went 20 shooters, he was going to do 20 shots.
TJ Oshie, he was a bull out there for the United States. He was the game winner in a shootout as the Americans knock off the Russians. There's Barry Melrose this morning here on SportsCenter.